Good morning. Today we are talking spiritual awakening. We are coming to you this morning so that we can fellowship together. But we want to look at something else that is affecting our nation and that is affecting our common living or common good as Zambians. I want to welcome everyone that shall have a chance to look at this video, to watch this video. I want to know what you say about the subject. The subject is the spiritual awakening, and the topic is the Napsa partial benefit claim as implemented by the UPND government. Again, we are coming to you. We want to discuss something that is pertinent to this nation, and we come to you this morning. Want you to share this video to your relatives, to your friends, to groups, wherever you can help spread information so that people should be aware of where we are going and where we need to go as a nation. So I come to you not as a man of God that is preaching the gospel, but a man of God that is talking about the pertinent issues affecting this nation. What is the state of affairs of this nation as regards to Napsa partial retirement claim? I want to indicate to you from the onset, this is a political program. When I say a political program, I'm talking about the policy of implementation of Napsa partial retirement claim. This is a political program. Many of you shall say, why do I say so? It is a political program because of the way this matter is being implemented and this matter has been sought out. I'll give you a scenario. The many people that we have seen parade before Napsa throughout the country, that the system of Napsa is tripping, they are failing to handle the many complaints. At the end of the day, they are sending people to internet cafes and they are referring people to their phones. They go to their phones, they fail to access these claims. They go back to Napsa and they are turned back again, and people are trotting between Napsa and internet cafes and their phones. Why? Because the government did not envision the suffering that people are going through in this nation and the need for people to access money. If the government has envisioned what sufferings people are going through and the pressure that shall be pressed on Napsa, they may not have come up with this policy. Again, they may have come up with a better policy. And this is what I want to dive in. I'm not here to criticize the government as per se. On the first of it, we see that this program is well meant if it is implemented well. But is it well meant? Not at all. Why? Because of the way it is being implemented. Let's look at the 20% that they have talked about. Many of you know that the majority of Zambian citizens fall below the poverty bottom line. They fall below the minimum living of the people, the acceptable standards of living of the people. Most of the people are not even managing to eat 2 meals in a day. When we look at the jobs that they are doing, most of them are getting 16, 17, 2 pin. And when you say their contribution to Napsa, you see that most of these people in 5, 10 years, 15 years, they would have only contributed maybe 15 pin, 20 pin in all those years that they have worked. Most of them, the areas you find is they have contributed a 30 pin. Now let's look at the 20% that the government is talking about. What is 20%? Ladies and gentlemen of 10,000, you know the math. If we divide 5 into 10, what do we get? We get 2. If we are talking about a 20 pin, we divide 5 into 20, we get a 4. So you are talking about people going to Napsa, parading before Napsa and getting a 2,000 or getting a 4,000. Let's look at people who have had worked maybe for 15 years and they have a 30 pin at Napsa. What are they going to get at the end of the day? We see that person just accessing a 5 pin. And the government says this money can be reinvested back in businesses. What would a person invest? What business would a person invest into a 5 pin? What business would a person invest into a 2 pin if they have 20 pin at Napsa? What business can a person invest in a 2 pin if they have a 10 pin, a 4 pin if they have a 20 pin at Napsa? This program is a joke in the way it is being implemented. And it's high time that politicians, our government, and every Zambian should be serious with what we are doing. As a nation, we cannot attain development with such kind of thinking, because every program that the government tries to implement, whether it's the past governments or the current government, every program is a political program. When are we as a nation going to look at the people's affairs and say, enough is enough? Can we work for people and do things that are going to benefit people? What is my advice to the UPND government? This program they are doing will turn out to be a circus, will turn out to be a flop, will turn out only to bankrupt Napsa because of the way they are being implemented. They are not implementing this program to change anything in people's lives. What would someone who had suffered, who is not working, most people may not even be working, and they access a 2 pin from Napsa? Do you think they can invest in fritters or they can invest in business while rent is waiting for them? Do you think they can invest a 2 pin in something while the children haven't gone to school? What about the one that has saved about 20 pin in Napsa and is getting a 4 pin? Do you think they can invest in business that kind of money? It's a mockery to this nation. It's a mockery to the people. Politicians must be serious. What about a person that has a 30 pin in Napsa? How are they going to invest a 5 pin? In what business can they invest a 5 pin? Meanwhile, their rentals are waiting. Meanwhile, children need to go to school. Meanwhile, maybe that person is not even working. They don't even have food to eat. So this is a mockery. My advice to the UPN government is that it is high time. They have been in government for a long time now. It is high time they sat down and began to work for the people. If I were in their position, this is how the Napsa pre-retirement benefit claim must go if you want to change the lives of the people. There are 2 ways in which you can do this as a government. Number 1, this, I want to make it clear from the onset. This program is only meant for the rich people. Because the rich people, they get 60 pin, they get 80 pin at the end of the month, and you see that their contribution to NAPSA might be 2 pin. As I'm talking now, you find that there are people who have even 400,000 in NAPSA. These are the people that are going to access proper money, and these are the people that can contribute and actually invest this money in business if they wanted. So this program is meant for the rich, just like most of the programs that the UPND government is implementing. Because only the rich people can access proper money from NAPSA. The poor will access a 2 pin, will access a 3 pin, will access a 4 pin, will access a 5 pin, will access a 6 pin. Any access of less than 10 pin is nothing. Because there's no proper business in which you can invest that kind of money. So how should the UPND government have moved? 1, they could have come up with a tier system where they say anyone that is getting below, that has saved below 50 pin, will allow them to access 50% of their money. Because 50 pin of 50% of 50 pin, they would access a 25 pin and they can invest that into business. And then we'll be talking that the government is doing something. If someone has saved 40 pin at NAPSA, we say they access 50 pin of 20 pin, 40 pin. They'll be accessing 20 pin and they can invest it. If someone has saved 30 pin and they access a 50, half of that, they'll they would have accessed about 15 pin, and someone can invest into a meaningful project, a meaningful business. So if the president and his political party were serious with this policy, one thing they should have done is to look at what are the contributions that are at Napsa, what kind of people have contributed, because most of the contributors to Napsa, the majority of them are poor people, are people who don't get enough money, are people who are not saving more than 500 kwacha to Napsa per month. In fact, 500 is a lot. Most of them are just saving about 100 kwacha, plus the employer's contribution is about 200. 200 by 10 months, you are talking about 2 pin. By 10 years, you're talking about someone saving about 20,000 to 25,000. So this is a joke. The government must be serious. Yes, the policy is a good policy if it is well implemented. Without malice, without propaganda, without political agenda, but meaning well for the people. So the tier system can work where they say anyone below 50, they'll get a 50%. They can access 50% of their investment in Napsa. And this can be directed to economic projects. Then anyone that is above 50 to 100, they tell them you can access 30% of your money. And anyone above 100, let them access a 20%, because the 20% of a huge amount of money is a lot of money. And therefore, this project or this policy can be an equalizer, but it has first to go back to the drawing board, so that the government must be serious. The government must be serious, and the government must ensure that people are going to get the good benefits and they're going to use this money for investment. At the moment, this Napsa thing is simply a joke. It's something that will not turn into anything, because when people access these little monies, all they are going to do is to do what? To get these little monies, they buy food and it ends there. Others will pay for their children at school and it will end there. Others will pay rent who are not working and it will end there. So this is a joke. They should try as much as possible, try to implement a tier system. They look at people's contributions to Napsa and they see how much people can access that will be meaningful, that can be invested in development. That is one thing. If I were the one in government, or if I were the president of this nation, that is one thing I would look at when I'm implementing this. But at the moment, this is just a political program. It is meant to wound weak people, to think that people are going to benefit when they're not benefiting. That I can do, if I were a president for this nation, or implementing this, what would be the next step that I can do? If I'm not offering a tier system, is just one of those things where we allow those who have contributed, who are getting less in society and have contributed for years, let them access more than 50% of their monies. The second thing that they can do as government, if they really want to make this into development or agenda, or rather into an economic program, what they can do is to turn this into a loan, where they'll look at someone to say, how much have you contributed to Napsa? Instead of people running to Kalova, running to these loan sharks, wasting money, the equipment has been confiscated by these people who are loaning them money. Most people have lost a lot of property because they are running to money lenders, they are running to these scrupulous businesses that are claiming that they want to help improve people's lives. At the end of the day, all they need is your money, all they need is your equipment. You give the equipment as collateral, they'll get that equipment at the end of the day, because the interest that they are giving to the Zambian people obnoxious in a way that people cannot even manage to pay back the loans. So if I were in government, the second thing that I can do is to say, okay, you have contributed a 20 penny at Napsa. We are going to give you this as a loan. So Napsa can turn into a loan giving organization to the contributors. I'm not talking to outsiders who are not contributing to Napsa. To the contributors of Napsa. They can turn this into a loan, where Napsa begins to loan this money, where they will tell you to say, you have contributed a 20 pin, we are going to loan you this money, because that's your money. They will say you pay back with maybe 5% interest or 10% interest, and you can pay back in 5 years or 10 years, because this is your money and you are making money for yourself. Therefore, the loan, the interest that you shall accrue, it shall work for you, it shall increase your money. At the end of the day, they will give you a lot of time to pay back this loan. Instead of us running to private institutions and get these loans, Napsa can begin to give loans according to how much a person has saved. That is one way this program can be done, and this program will be meaningful. Number two, if they feel that it will call for a lot of structure for Napsa to begin to offer loans, there are a lot of banks that are giving loans in this nation. What they can do is Napsa can come up with a memorandum of understanding with any of the banks and agree with them. The interest that must be charged on these monies is so much, so that it makes meaningful. It makes sense to a person that is getting money, so that you don't shoot them in the foot. It's their interest. That bank can also get a 2%, 3% on top of that. And you say the collateral that we have as a loan, give this person a loan. The collateral that they have is the money that they have saved. Say a person has a 50 pin in Napsa. Say Stambik, give them 50 pin. The collateral they have is their investment in Napsa, their contribution in Napsa. In any case, most of these people shall continue to contribute to Napsa. Therefore, this loan you give them, the collateral is the contribution that they have at Napsa. And you see that a person will get money from a bank using collateral as their contribution with Napsa, and you give them 5, 10 years to pay back the loan. You will see that this can turn out into a machine making money. It can turn out into a powerful project that is more than even the mines that we have, that are contributing nothing to this nation, but just enriching the foreigners. You need to understand, as long as you don't look at this program in this manner in which I've elaborated, whether you can look at it in a tier system, offer those that are at the bottom of the pyramid, offer them more access to their money, or turn that money into a loan. Give them the contributions that they have. Let Napsa give them the contribution that they have. And they'll begin to pay slowly, pay back. That is their money. And they'll begin to pay with interest. Or you can come up with a memorandum of understanding with a bank, and this shall be a meaningful program. At the moment, this is a joke. It needs to go back to a drawing board. If you are listening to me, politicians, it's high time you began to get serious with people's affairs. Zambians are tired of these lame duck policies. Policies that lead to nowhere. Policies that are meant only to benefit the rich. Policies that mean nothing to the ordinary Zambian. When are you going to think for an ordinary Zambian? I implore you, if you are really serious with the development of this nation, sit down again and look at Napsa project and ensure that this project can turn into something that will make money for people. At the moment, this is a joke. I want to thank everyone that has had a chance to join us. Miriam, I want to thank Kangwa. I want to thank Teresa, Elijah, everybody that has a chance to join this program, this broadcast. I want to thank you, and I pray for you that God should open your eyes, that you can become spiritually enlightened, that you begin to see the truth concerning this nation, the truth concerning the world, the truth concerning what things are happening in your life. I pray for you that God should be with you in Jesus' name, that God should lighten your burdens, that He ensures that you are placed in a position where you can receive His blessings. Above all, let us be watchful that indeed, even as our government begins to come up with these projects or programs, let us be watchful that we are able to contribute meaningfully. We should not be just people who shall sit down in silence without understanding what is the impact of this thing that the government has brought on us. This has been Prophet Brian Mtalesampa coming to you this morning. Shalom, shalom. Until next time, present viewing. And I urge you to share this video. Join us on Sunday at 9 hours as we do a live broadcast concerning fellowship, which is the Sunday service. Bye-bye. Until next time, God bless you.